The Super Bowl was this Sunday, and for today's Music Monday, we're checking in with the Blitz.
Yeah, talking sports, Rick Couri. Good morning, Rick. Good to see you.
What's happening, guys? By the way, on the old dog story, you ever recognize that every time something is just made the oldest of something, it dies within a week? So if you ever get to be the oldest person, don't tell anyone.
That's right.
It's a great point.
Words of wisdom.
The Super Bowl Sunday coming up. Eagles, Chiefs. Okay, we were talking about who we've got. So I have the Eagles. Alan?
I'm Kansas City because I'm a Cowboys fan, so I cannot, pull for Philadelphia. Anyway.
What about you, Rick? I'm going to go with the Eagles, but it's, I really know a lot of folks around here love the Chiefs.
Well, then you should. There's a lot of reasons too. Patrick Mahomes and the kind of joy Kelsey plays the game with, and Andy Reid's a master. But the Eagles have the best offensive line in football, and at the end of the day, it wins games. It's done it for him so far. Jalen Hurts has been very good. I feel great for him. What a story. So yeah, I'm taking the Eagles too.
Well, and we were talking last week about the Kelsey brothers, and I was just shocked that two brothers haven't gone head-to-head in a Super Bowl until this coming weekend.
Absolutely. Yeah, there are a lot of things like that that are first. This morning on our show, we talked to Larry Brown, who you might not even recognize the name, but Terry Brown. He was the only Oklahoman to ever score a touchdown in the Super Bowl that was native born, and that happened in Super Bowl IX. So things like that, there are some things like that that are kind of few, if you will, out there in the Kelsey brothers. But the great thing about the Kelsey brothers is they're both such good kind of characters, if you will, too, which makes it even more fun.
Well, what about the mom? That's what I want to know. It's like, can you imagine being a parent and watching this game?
Can you imagine being a parent paying the grocery bill?
Oh.
Yeah,
she has her whole life, no doubt about it.
Jason's a big boy.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Both of them are huge.
Yeah, it's either you change jerseys, or you do the half and half jersey, or you have one and the husband has the other. I don't know how they're going to work.
Yeah, I kind of thought it would be like Army Navy. The first half, they're on one side, and the second half, they just walk across to the other side.
Yeah.
So yeah, and brothers not in the Super Bowl, but by the way, brothers in the flag football game yesterday. If you saw that, the Diggs brothers. But we don't have time for that. Let's move on.
Let's talk a little bit, whatever you want to talk about, I guess.
No, let's go with ORU, because we've been talking about ORU here in the commercial break. ORU is unbelievable. 21 wins. What is going on there? Folks haven't been out to the Mabee Center this year.
Well, first of all, Max Asmus is still going on, and that's the thing is we've been counting it down on the Blitz. Look, you only have this many number of times to see this kid play, and one of these days it's going to be one of those guys you go, hey, I got to see him play. I mean, I feel that way about Richard Fuqua and Eddie Woods and McDougal and some of those guys, Anthony, but now you can say I got to see Max Asmus. But the real key's been Connor Vanover. They had the 7-footer from Arkansas, and he's just found his home. Last week they got 2 votes in the AP Top 25. The week before they'd gotten 1. I can't wait to see what they get later today. There's a point at which you have to think they may be the best basketball team in Oklahoma. Oklahoma State's playing really well last night. Right now, great win against TCU. But right now, I'd say those two, they're far and away, they're the best 2 teams in the state.
Okay, so let's look ahead just a little bit. So, I mean, obviously, this is kind of a smaller conference. Do they have to totally win out to get in to the big tournament, or are they good enough of a team that if they didn't win the tournament, they could get invited? What do you think on that?
Unfortunately, when you're in a Summit League, I think you have to at least make the finals of your tournament.
I agree.
I don't think you have to necessarily win out, but you have to make the finals of your tournament. Then if you upset, lost there, right now they're projected as a 12. So that means you've got a little bit of room. Oklahoma State's last 4 in right now, Oklahoma last 4 out, and ORU at 12.
Yeah.
So they've got a little bit of room, but I think you have to make the finals of your tournament, or at least the semifinals, and that's after a great year.
Yeah, and Oklahoma State, by the way, is coming on strong. They got a big game coming up soon as well, and the Sooners are kind of faltering just a little bit right now.
Oh, it was a horrible loss. Big win against Alabama. You're thinking things are great, and then you lose Bedlam, and then they get hammered by West Virginia. I'm not sure what's happening in Norman.
Yep.
So last week, Tom Brady comes back out, says, hey, I'm going to be finished again. It's kind of anticlimactic. It's like, what is going on, dude?
Is he done?
Right, and that's what he said in the message is, look, I'm not going to give the big emotional thing, although he got a little bit emotional in that 1-and-3-second video where he said he's going to retire. By the way, that house he was at when he made that, and you see it in the background, kind of looks like a nice area, you can rent it for $60,000 a month because, Leanne, I know, you're looking for a place for a vacation.
Well, I was going to take us all. Let's go.
You know what the crazy thing?
Yeah, it is a little bit, especially the kind of year they had. And we thought we saw him aging late in his career in New England, and then he had such a resurgence. Really, at the end of the day, he should have won the title with Tampa and hung him up and ridden off into the sunset.
That's right.
He's still the best to ever play the position and all that. But I think the last year or two have been somewhat forgettable.
All right, one quick question before we go. NBA trade deadline coming up this week. Are the Thunder's buyers or sellers? Do you think they should go for the playoffs? Should they go for the play-in? Or should they go for the big, the Frenchman in the next upcoming draft?
Yeah, I don't think, I mean, they're certainly not going to lose on purpose. There's not going to be trying to get spots. They're very good as it is. They're really close to the play-in game to begin with, and that's without, you know, you got a 7-footer on the, at least more than 7-footer on the side on the side there who can't play all year long. I don't see them doing a lot, if much. I mean, Kyrie Irving took all the oxygen with that trade. I don't see them doing a ton. I think they'll stand fairly pat because really, if you look at it, you add Holmgren into that mix, I think you got a playoff team right there. I like this group. They're young, they're feisty, and they get after it.
I do too. I like them a lot. And I like Rick Couri in the morning. The Blitz, 1170 a.m., 6 to 9. Rick, we appreciate it.